All right, fight fans, we're here with world-renowned trainer Joel Diaz. Joel, thank you. We're here at your gym. You can see the background, all the art, all the history. Let's get into it, Joel. Let's recap some of the fights that happened just a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. What were your thoughts on David Benavidez against Bubo Andrade?
They were great fights. You know, honestly, I followed Benavidez' career for a long time, and he's a great explosive fighter. As you guys can see, he's getting better and better every time. He's walking through all these fighters, all his opponents, and obviously Demetrius Andrade. A few years ago, I remember he's been a great athlete in the sport. He was I think 4 or 5 years ago, he was one of the most avoided fighters in boxing. That's the reason why he doesn't have much activity, because he's so athletic in the ring that, you know, really there's not a lot of fighters that want to face him. I remember back when he was at 154. At 154, he was a couple times he was a mandatory challenger for Canelo Alvarez's titles, and honestly, I think Canelo just went around him, you know, never gave him the opportunity. But in reality, he's a great fighter. Now, what I think about that fight, it was a good fight, just till it lasted. You know, while it lasted, it was good. Demetrius Andrade tried everything he could in the early rounds. He landed some great combinations. He was moving around, but Benavidez is too big. Honestly, let's be realistic. I don't take credit for Benavidez because he's proven himself. It doesn't matter who goes in the ring with him. He takes him out, that's the way it's supposed to be. But Benavidez keeps improving, getting better and better. He's growing in the sport. He's still young. I just think that this was not the time for Demetrius Andrade to face Benavidez. Actually, to me, honestly, Benavidez is too big for him. Mm-hmm. He's a solid 168 pounder. And Demetrius Andrade was a 154 pounder. There was no activity in his weight class. He moved up to 60 to try to get a fight. And so I think he fought once or twice at 160. So there was not a lot of activity for him at 160. So he tried 168. But in reality, he's not a 68 pounder. He's a small guy. You know?
At 35 years of age, you think he just...
At 35 years of age, he got old. He got old in the sport. And, I mean, right now, facing a monster like Benavidez, I mean, I seen it coming, you know? So it was a good performance by Benavidez, you know, taking his time. And at the right time, he picked the right shots and finished the fight.
After this performance, do you think that Benavidez deserves a shot at Canelo come May?
Oh, definitely. Benavidez deserves an opportunity at Canelo and other fighters out there in that division, you know. But I don't know, with his performance, are they going to give it to him? You know, because those are great performances. A lot of times, it's based on their performances. That's when they get the opportunities. If they look bad, you know, like, okay, it's the right time. But if they keep looking good, it's not the right time. So we don't know.
And I saw the fight here in the Valley. I saw that there's a lot of fanfare, a lot of fans here that like Benavidez. Why do you think the Mexican faithful really gravitate to Benavidez?
Because Benavidez is the type of fighter that has not avoided anybody. Benavidez, you give him a name and he'll fight him. You know, he's not picking any fights. You know, he's just whatever is given to him, he'll take, and he'll do what he has to do to, you know, come out with his hand raised.
We just talked about Andrade's age. Right now, Canelo's 33, Benavidez is 26. Do you think this is the best time for them to make that fight?
Yeah, it's the right time. It's the right time for this fight to happen. I don't know what's holding it back. Sometimes it's based on performances, you know. Remember, Canelo didn't look too good against Ryder. And Ryder was in a great performance. Honestly, in my opinion, I mean, Ryder is a tough opponent, but for Canelo and Canelo's standing point, it should have been like a 7-8 round fight. He should have stopped him in the 7th, 8th round. Ryder came back strong, and he was putting a lot of good punches on Canelo. But other than that, I mean, I just think that right now Benavidez is a big threat for Canelo. Big threat.
And does Benavidez have the potential to be one day the face of boxing, the way Canelo is now, the way Oscar De La Hoya was once upon a time?
Maybe not. He doesn't. By now, I mean, Canelo was younger. He was younger when he was already at that stage, you know. Right now, Benavidez he's good. He's making a lot of noise, but I don't think he'll ever reach that stage, you know. I don't know, based on lifestyles, behaviors, you know. I mean, to be a superstar, you need a lot of things. You need to have a certain lifestyle, certain behavior, certain reputation, you know. I mean, even though you could be a great fighter, you could be a great fighter, you know, a demolition fighter in the ring, but you need some character outside the ring to be a superstar.
Yeah. And we know that David has been calling out Canelo for a while now. Were you surprised that he called out also Bivol and Benavidez after the fight?
He did?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it, you know. I even made a comment about it. I said, everybody's calling Canelo, but nobody ever calls out. I mean, I said in an interview, I said, everybody wants Canelo. Obviously, Canelo is the cash cow, right? And Canelo takes it on his side as far as when they mention his name, Canelo always says, all they want is a paycheck. They want a paycheck. Well, obviously, boxing is about it's work. That's why you get paid, right? Yeah. So you always try to reach for the highest hills, and he's the highest to get the more money. And if you mention Canelo's name, Canelo will fire back saying, all you want is a paycheck. Well, obviously, it's work, right? So, you know, Benavidez wants Canelo because that's where the money is. Everybody knows that Canelo is the money. But if you wanna prove to the world that you are the best, there's other fighters out there that they're avoiding, and Bivol is one of them. Mention Bivol's name. Dimitri Bivol is there. He's open to any opportunity, and mention his name too. You know, I mean, obviously the paycheck is not gonna be the same, but you know, you're gonna beat somebody that beat Canelo.
Yeah, and obviously we know that Bivol would take the rematch with Canelo. Do you think he'd be open to a fight with somebody like Benavidez?
Dimitri Bivol is open to anybody. I can tell you this. He knows he will not say no to Canelo on a rematch, and he will not say no to Benavidez, and he will not say no to Benavidez either. And I'm pretty sure that Benavidez will take that opportunity before Canelo or Benavidez.
And for Bivol, a lot of the fighters already rank him in the top 10 pound for pound. Would a fight with somebody like a Benavidez, would it put him in the talks of, you know, Hall of Fame and greats, in your opinion?
They should, because he's beaten some of the best. I mean, he beat a Canelo Alvarez. You know, who else has beaten Canelo besides him? Floyd Mayweather, the best fighter. You know, so I mean, he's at a good position where he should be recognized among one of the best in the Hall of Fame.
And in your opinion, do you believe before both Canelo and Bivol hang on, do you believe that there's a rematch that will be done, or do you think it's that one and done?
Well, it's all up to them. Honestly, it's all up to Canelo. Canelo's the boss. But if Canelo thinks he can redeem himself and say that he was a bad night, there's the opportunity, you know. As a matter of fact, that same night, he says, you know, he felt that he didn't lose. So, as a Mexican fighter, I've always said, you know, I have a lot of respect for Canelo. I like him. He's a great guy. But, you know, as a Mexican fighter, we have a lot of pride. You know, me as a Mexican trainer, I hate when I lose. And I always want to go back and give me another opportunity, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's the way us Mexicans are. Canelo's a Mexican, and I know that he has a lot of pride in himself. But I know it's not him. I know there's a team behind him that make the moves. This is the right one. This is not the right one. This is the right move. This is the best way to go. You know, and honestly, I think Canelo's not the one. If you tell Canelo, you're going to fight Mike Tyson, he'll fight Mike Tyson. But I just think there's a team behind Canelo that runs the business, and they know that that's not the right business for him. Because he knows that if he fights Bivol one more time, he'll get beat again.
Yeah. At 33 years of age, do you think Canelo knows that, hey, my prime is coming to a close?
It's coming to an end, definitely. I mean, I don't think Canelo's going to be in the sport too long. I think maybe 3 more fights and he's done, in my opinion. I don't know what his plans are, but 3-4 fights max, and then he's done. Because he's getting, by the time he has 4 more fights, he's already, 35, 36.
Yeah. And a lot of people will, like you just mentioned, his team might advise him to bring people down to 168. Do you think the fight gets made at a catch weight, not at the previous weight?
There's been talks before, and Bivol said it. I'll fight him at 68, at 72, whatever. Because most of the times it's like they wanna bring Canelo, they wanna end Canelo's career with his titles, so they will not fight for his titles on that division. They'll fight at a catch weight. He loses, he's still a champ. So whatever it is, Dimitri Bivol is open to fight him in any way.
What would it mean for Dimitri to be a 2-division undisputed champ? Well,
it's a great thing. He's been working all his life for something like that. And if he gets the opportunity and he wins, that's a dream come true. It's a dream come true for every fighter.
And Coach, another fight that just happened just last week was the Ryan Garcia fight. What did you think of his past performance?
It was a good performance. Ryan Garcia did what he had to do to beat Oscar Duarte.
There are a lot of people that think that you, including your previous fighter, ESPN commentator Tim Bradley, who says that Ryan Garcia would, quote, get destroyed by the top 140s. Do you agree? Why or why not?
I don't think so. Ryan Garcia knows what he's doing, and he did everything he had to do in that fight to win. I mean, if you analyze the fight, Oscar Duarte, if you don't know Oscar Duarte, then you can't really have an opinion over him. I trained Oscar Duarte most of his career, and he's one of the heaviest hitters. I mean, even Ryan Garcia said after the fight, he hits way harder than Gervonta Davis. He hits really, really hard. Oscar Duarte at one point sparred Omar Figueroa, and Figueroa told me there's nobody that hit me as hard as this guy. He sparred Lucas Matisse. Lucas Matisse told me, man, this guy hits hard. He's very disciplined. Very humble, very. His personality is just great. Very humble guy, but he trains really hard. And I watched the fight. I analyzed the fight, and Ryan Garcia did what he had to do to win. The shoulder roll was to avoid getting hit with the right, protecting his body from all those punches that Duarte was throwing. The 2 rounds that he moved on Duarte, he did it to frustrate Duarte, and obviously frustrate him and beat him, and that's what happened.
If you were in Duarte's corner, what would have been the game plan for you to try to decide for a Ryan Garcia?
It would have been a little different. The plan would have been, don't chase him, let him come to you. Remember, he's a star. He's the one that needs to prove. When you fight in the star, you don't need to chase him. Let him come to you. Attack to the body first. Don't look for him. Let him look for you. And there's different strategies. Oscar Duarte, obviously he's the underdog. He is his first time on that stage. You gotta make a little bit of you gotta improvise. You gotta make some different tactics in there.
And from a trainer's perspective, do you feel that Ryan Garcia improve? Are there any things that you would add to his
everybody improves. Everybody improves on every fight. Every fight is a learning experience. And every fight, you learn and you mature. And he's learning.
And final question, Coach. If you were to put on your manager's hat on and you had to decide the next 12 months for Ryan Garcia, let's say 2 fights, what kind of names do you put for Ryan Garcia in the next 12 months?
For Ryan Garcia at 140, I would put like a Regis Prograis. I would put like a Teofimo Lopez. And who else? That's about it.
Okay.
Nothing else would be big. Rolly Romero is another one, which is good. Those are 3 names that I will put him against.
Thank you, Coach. And we won't take much of your time because then we got to train.
No problem, huh?
But you have a fighter who has a fight coming up.
Tito Sanchez, main event, December 14th, Fantasy Springs Casino. We want to invite everybody to come and support. It's his first main event. It's going to be a great fight against a tough opponent who previously beat one of my top prospects, Manny Flores. So I want to invite everybody to Fantasy Springs Casino, December 14th, next Thursday.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, bro.